From the day I woke up in prison, realized the mistakes that I had made and the pain that I had caused people, I committed to turning my life around.
Welcome to Watch Mojo. And today, we'll be discussing the instances where the dark side of Hollywood rose up to consume some famous movie performers.
What Locane is doing is speaking publicly about her crime as a warning to others.
Attempted murder. Shelley Malil. It's difficult to say what might have come of the career of Shelley Malil after the actor gained fame for his performance in The 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Hey, Will and Grace, back to work.
Hey, Aziz, can you just give us a second? We're just kind of in the middle of something.
Hey, I'm on my break, okay?
That's because Malil was sentenced to life imprisonment with the possibility of parole after 12 years for the attempted murder of his girlfriend, Kendra Beebe, in 2010.
He was convicted of premeditated attempted murder and was given a 12 years to life sentence.
The wounds inflicted on Beebe by Malil were numerous, and the victim was left in some severe physical shape, although she would eventually survive the attack. Malil, in the meantime, was actually paroled in 2018 after serving only 8 years of his sentence.
He says he's a changed man, has taken self-help courses in prison, and participated in Alcoholics Anonymous.
Alleged abuse and defamation. Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Why do we so often follow the sordid details that emerge in the wake of a high-profile celebrity court case?
It was very, very toxic. We were awful to each other. You know, I made a lot of mistakes. A lot of mistakes. But I've always told the truth.
The tumultuous relationship of actors Johnny Depp and Amber Heard was an open book for all to see during their 2022 trial.
There's absolutely no question that especially Johnny Depp's lawyers are playing to the public. There's no question.
Depp's legal team brought forth allegations of defamation against Heard, while the latter asserted that she was a victim of domestic violence during her marriage to Depp. Live-streamed footage of the trial resulted in public support, primarily leaning towards Depp, and this sentiment seemed to be echoed by the jury verdict, which ruled in favor of the plaintiff.
I think the key to victory was focusing on the facts and the evidence, and Johnny's opportunity to speak the truth for the first time.
First-degree attempted burglary. Lillo Brancato. It was alongside heavyweight acting legends like Robert De Niro that Lillo Brancato first made his mark in Hollywood.
Nice sheets, Dad. I gotta be careful I don't get a nosebleed.
Hey, these are the best I can do. What do you want from me?
Come on, Pop, I'm only kidding.
The young actor would earn praise for his work in A Bronx Tale, although struggles with substance use disorder eventually came to a head for Brancato. A gunfight with off-duty police officer Daniel Enchatigwe proved to be fatal for the latter.
Someone came to the hospital bed with the newspaper, and he said, hey, buddy, you proud of yourself? He said, you and your boy just killed a cop. I said, what?
Brancato was charged with second-degree murder for his role in the altercation, one that also included Brancato's accomplice, Stephen Armento. Brancato escaped the murder charge, but was convicted of first-degree attempted burglary, served time, and was eventually paroled. He speaks now about his experiences and has returned to acting.
What I can do is choose to be a little bit better today than I was yesterday and try to help as many people as possible. And be kind. It doesn't cost anything.
Sexual assault. Gérard Depardieu. It's a question that's been asked before, one that tends to follow many celebrities whose talents sometimes overshadow the dark clouds of controversy that follow their careers.
In the wake of the Me Too movement in 2017, serious allegations of sexual misconduct were made against the actor, casting a shadow over his career.
There's absolutely no denying the greatness of Gérard Depardieu as an actor, as evidenced by his numerous awards and accolades. Yet accusations of a sexual nature have dogged Depardieu for decades.
He's previously denied any wrongdoing, and his lawyer has said the accusations are false and based on lies.
It wasn't until 2020 that an official reckoning came knocking in the form of official charges levied in Depardieu's native France. He was convicted in May of 2025 on 2 counts of sexual assault, although the actor steadfastly denied these accusations and even took the stand in his own defense.
Gérard Depardieu, an icon of French cinema, has been handed a suspended jail term of 18 months.
The verdict is currently being appealed. Sexual exploitation. James Franco. The arrest of disgraced Hollywood producer Harvey Weinstein in 2018 served as a reckoning of sorts. A moment in history where other victims of sexual exploitation and abuse felt emboldened to speak up and tell their stories.
One of the things that I've learned is that this is a conversation that obviously needs to be had. There are people, women and others who have not been a part of this conversation. And I truly believe, and why I was wearing the pin, is that they need to be a part of this conversation.
The career and reputation of James Franco certainly took a hit in the wake of this Weinstein effect, since multiple women accused the actor of taking advantage of his position as an acting coach.
He's definitely got two personalities. And that doesn't mean he doesn't have a great sweet side, but when he has his other side, it's the complete polar opposite.
Behavior that was designed to elicit certain favors in exchange for potential acting roles, with retaliation on the table if those favors weren't doled out. The suits were settled out of court, although Franco did admit that he had sex with his students during this time.
Suppose at the time, my thinking was, if it's consensual, okay.
Fatal DUI. Amy Locane. The 2020 short film Cooties served as the first film role in over 10 years for Amy Locane, who had formerly retired in 2006 while she was raising a family.
Locane was living a quiet life in New Jersey as a wife and mother at the time of the accident.
Unfortunately, Locane was involved in a fatal car crash in 2010, one that proved fatal to the wife of Fred Seaman, who had been attempting to turn into his driveway.
I drove home while I was intoxicated, and the consequences were devastating.
Locane's conviction and sentencing proved to be equally controversial, since it was later found that the initial decision of 3 years was too lenient. The actress ultimately served more years in prison while appealing this decision, before finally being released in December of 2024.
Amy now speaks to high school students about the dangers of drunk driving.
I want to do everything in my power to prevent other people from going through something that horrible and that difficult.
Felony torture. Joe's son. The martial arts training of Joe's son made this actor an easy fit for multiple direct-to-video acting gigs.
A relatively small-time actor is now attracting his biggest headlines ever, and they're not over movie roles.
Then, son's resemblance to the famous James Bond villain Oddjob resulted in his casting as Random Task in the hit spy parody Austin Powers' International Man of Mystery. It would be DNA evidence submitted for son's role in a separate crime, that of felony vandalism, that would go on to connect the actor to a cold case that occurred 18 years prior. Son was sentenced to life in prison for his role in a felony torture case that left a female victim traumatized and assaulted. The actor's prison life would result in yet another crime, this time for the murder of Joe's son's cellmates, Michael Graham.
A month after his son arrived, officials at the prison found his 50-year-old cellmate dead in their quarters.
Murder. Johnny Lewis. It's unclear as to whether or not a 2011 motorcycle accident caused some sort of undiagnosed trauma within the otherwise promising life of actor Johnny Lewis.
Johnny Lewis starred in the show Sons of Anarchy, and officials say he went on a violent rampage.
The star of such films as Aliens vs. Predator, Requiem, and television shows like Sons of Anarchy was staying at a bed and breakfast known to other creatives in the area of Los Angeles, California.
We got a series of 911 calls. Neighbors called, said there's someone screaming, I hear glass breaking. Our officers rushed up there. By the time we got there, Mr. Lewis was already dead.
His behavior proved to be violently erratic, however, with Lewis having assaulted a number of his neighbors prior to murdering his landlady, Catherine Davis, as well as her pet cat. Johnny Lewis fell to his death after committing these crimes, although authorities maintain that this fatal fall was accidental and not a self-induced act of destruction.
We believe that Mr. Lewis was responsible for this.
Hate crimes. Mark Wahlberg. There is an astonishingly long rap sheet of crimes when it comes to the history of Mark Wahlberg's troubled youth.
I'm from the wrong side of the tracks, I think. You know, I'm trying to work my way into good graces.
The actor has freely admitted his wrongdoings as a teenager when he committed hate crimes against persons of color in his neighborhood. The actor only served 45 days in jail for a 1988 attack on a Vietnamese man, Johnny Trinh.
I was a young kid and I was a follower, and the day I woke up in prison, I had to say, you know what? Do I want to continue to be a follower, or do I want to change my life and become a leader? and that's what I decided to do.
Yet Wahlberg brazenly requested a pardon from the state of Massachusetts in 2014 for his crime, a pardon that was not issued. Mark Wahlberg would later go on to state that he'd personally met with Trin in an effort to clean his personal slate.
I'm committed to turning my life around and becoming a productive person in the community.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Vehicular manslaughter, Matthew Broderick, careless driving. That was what the legal team representing Matthew Broderick eventually had levied against their client after a tragic car accident took place back in 1987.
You were with Matthew in the car, and that car struck another one, and it ended 2 lives.
Broderick's car swerved into the wrong lane while the actor was vacationing in Northern Ireland. The passengers in the other car, a mother and daughter, were killed at the scene.
I was in shock because I was the only living witness, and Matthew was unconscious and had amnesia, and the other 2 women died.
Broderick, in the meantime, awoke in a hospital with some very serious injuries, together with no recollection of the incidents. The initial charges of causing death by dangerous driving were lowered to the aforementioned conviction, which let Broderick off with only a $175 fine.
And it had very serious, traumatic, lasting effects on, I'm sure, Matthew and the family of the other women and me.
Which of these revelations was the most shocking to you? Let us know in the comments.